The Master's Mysteries, Tales of Magical Mastery, Episode 63. We were just talking about how the true form of the nine-headed serpent suddenly emerged in this massive underground palace. The nine-headed snake was over 10 meters tall, with its 9 heads stretching out. It was truly horrifying. Moreover, the nine-headed serpent didn't regard the humans before it with any respect. It let out a strange cry and lunged towards the group of people. Don't be foolish. This area is too wide and open. It's not conducive to fighting. What's so remarkable about it? Xiao Dai and Black Fox remained calm in the face of danger. They knew that this was someone else's territory, and the enemy had the advantage. They couldn't afford to make a rash move. Pulling Liao Fengyi, who was still somewhat defiant, they ran towards the relatively narrow stone cave. But calling it a quick escape wouldn't be so easy. The attacks of this colossal beast were incredibly swift. Before the group could even make it out of the doorway, the nine-headed serpent had already pounced on them from behind. Several consecutive serpentine bites narrowly missed Liao Fengyi's heels, and the force of the attacks left deep craters in the floor of the Grand Hall. Liao Fengyi wasn't willing to flee in such a pitiful state. He was about to turn back to see if he could launch a counterattack when he slowed down slightly. A massive serpent head lunged toward him. "Do you think I'm scared of you?" There's nothing more to say. Liao Fengyi quickly twisted his body to the side to evade the serpent's bite. Then, he delivered a fierce elbow strike to the back of the serpent's skull. However, Liao Fengyi soon realized that this kind of attack was about as effective against this terrifying behemoth as scratching an itch. Not only was it ineffective, but it also seemed to enrage the creatures even more. Suddenly, all 9 serpent heads shot up, their 9 pairs of blood-red eyes fixating on the group. With a sudden motion, they launched a ferocious attack. This attack was even faster. Liao Fengyi realized that at this rate, nobody would likely escape. Someone had to slow down the beast's advance. "You all go. I refuse to believe it." With this thought in mind, he turned around and stopped, directly facing the nine-headed serpent. "Kid, don't be foolish. I came down from the mountain for training. How can a reputable Mount Mao mage be scared off by monsters?" Furthermore, Liao Fengyi was unwilling to back down. No matter how formidable the creature, it was still a monster. He had descended from the mountain to gain experience, and he couldn't always run away. Seeing that Liao Fengyi had stopped, the colossal beast immediately attacked him. Liao Fengyi's body quickly tilted back, narrowly avoiding the attack. Then he turned and lifted his leg, delivering a kick directly to its head. The force behind this kick was absolutely powerful, sending that serpent head flying several meters away. However, it was impossible for this amount of strength to harm the giant serpent. At the same time, 3 or 4 more giant serpents closed in, mouths gaping, and lunged at him simultaneously. Liao Fengyi focused all his energy, responding with punches and kicks, not giving the giant serpents any advantage for the time being. But the scales on the giant serpents' bodies were sharper than knives. Just grazing against them caused Liao Fengyi great distress. Although he managed to avoid being taken down by the giant serpents after several rounds of fighting, he was clearly on the defensive. And at this moment, 3 serpent heads attacked from 3 different directions. It seemed that Liao Fengyi was about to be overwhelmed. Just then, someone else stepped in. "Don't you know your own capabilities?" It was Xiao Dai who intervened. She couldn't just watch Liao Fengyi suffer. Holding her whip, she joined the battle. These two are really sweet on each other, and both of them are fools. They should have children soon. However, the monster had 9 heads after all. Even with 2 people fighting back, they were quickly surrounded. Ducking and dodging, the 2 of them struggled to resist, but they were always at a disadvantage. It looked like they were about to be defeated. Halt! At this moment, a much stronger aura of killing intent surged forth. In the air, a massive silhouette of a black fox formed. With the surge of this powerful killing intent, both the nine-headed serpent and Liao Fengyi came to a stop. The serpent immediately became vigilant and alert, granting Liao Fengyi and Xiaodi a moment to catch their breath. This was quite a situation. On one side was the terrifying nine-headed serpent, and on the other was the mighty black fox. Looking closely, the black fox even had 6 tails, and its aura was no weaker than that of the nine-headed serpent. A 6-tailed spirit fox. As this standoff unfolded, the serpent's form shifted to reveal its humanoid celestial body. What's the matter? Want to make a move? Faced with the black fox's killing intent, it also emitted a strong intent to kill. It seemed this fellow was also a lover of battles. Hey, can't we? How about a little sparring? It's a good way to broaden our horizons. Then bring it on. In an instant, a surge of killing intent filled the field, and it looked like they were about to clash. Wait a moment. But just then, the black fox raised its hand. The nine-headed serpent is your true form. My true form is outside. This is your territory. Isn't it unfair? The black fox's words were reasonable and well-founded. Its true form was outside, and this was the enemy's stronghold. They had the advantage, making the fight quite unfair. If you're capable, let's go outside and have a real battle. Don't make things difficult for him. Going outside to fight, if you lose, it won't look good. Xiao Dai was quick-witted and immediately caught on to the black fox's intention, so she chimed in with her own sly comments. After hearing Xiao Dai and the black fox, the nine-headed serpent remained silent for a while with a dark expression. While they said they had the advantage, they were the ones who intruded. All right, I want to see what you, a 6-tailed fox, can do. After some thought, it's unclear what the nine-headed serpent was thinking, but it seemed either confident in its own abilities or willing to take the risk, and it agreed. Did you release the hostage as well? So that during the big battle, I won't be tied up and hindered. One must admit, the black fox was indeed very clever. Though their intention was to rescue Big Fool and Second Fool, they made it sound like they had hostages in order to distract the enemy. Get lost. The nine-headed serpent wasn't affected by this mudslinging. Since they had decided to fight openly and fairly, they couldn't be bothered by these 2 small fries. Why didn't he eat you? Why else? Because we're too formidable. The agreement was set. The next evening, they would battle openly in the clearing by the swamp. After leaving the underground palace, the group found a sheltered spot in the valley to sit down. Back then, I used an overwhelming attack. I used the heavenly thunderstrike. But because of your interference, we couldn't exterminate the threat for the people. That's because you injured him internally with that previous beating. It was like slaughtering a chicken with a cleaver. We all saw it. Once he's healed, we'll give him another beating. After a string of boasting, even Third Fool couldn't stand it anymore. Since you're so amazing, why don't you fight me then? Facing someone like this, as soon as the black fox released its killing intent, they immediately faltered. How does this strength feel? Not bad. Promising. Let me give you a good squeeze and relieve some fatigue. The tone shifted. Let's be serious. We need to understand the nine-headed serpent better. You two, give us a detailed account. Eventually, Xiao Dai couldn't stand it anymore. They were going to face the nine-headed serpent tomorrow night, and only Big Fool and Second Fool had interacted with it. Before the battle, they needed to know their enemy. This is not just empty talk. No bluffing. Mainly because our skills are quite high. Very high. After hearing Xiao Dai's words, these 2 individuals immediately recounted their experiences in the nine-headed serpent's lair. After falling into the mud pit, these 2 individuals initially thought they were doomed, but unexpectedly, they woke up again. When Big Fool woke up, he found himself in a pitch-black cave, and Second Fool was nearby. Big Fool hurriedly went over to wake up Second Fool. While the 2 were still unsure of what to do, they suddenly heard a massive scraping sound coming from the depths of the cave, as if something was approaching. Being quick-witted, The two of them found a side passage and hid, sneakily peeking outside. They saw that the one entering was the man-eating nine-headed serpent. The ceiling of the cave was full of holes, and occasionally animals would fall through. This nine-headed serpent had come to eat these creatures. In the blink of an eye, several deer and wild boars were swallowed whole. The giant beasts ate with great gusto, and suddenly blood and minced meat filled the air. This scene terrified the two individuals. Only then did the two of them understand that this place was the nine-headed serpent's dining area. If they hadn't woken up early, they might have become the giant beast's meal by now. Thinking they had hidden well, the two individuals didn't know that the nine-headed serpent had already spotted them. After finishing off the animals, all 9 heads turned toward the two people with a swishing sound. Once those heads fixated on them, the two individuals almost wet themselves. They dared not stay hidden anymore, regardless of where they were heading. They ran forward in a frenzy. Their wild dash was more like a panic scramble, and they plunged into a massive natural cave. However, as they entered the cave, their blood ran cold. In that cave was an actual gigantic dragon, looking right at them. With a dragon blocking their path ahead and a 9-headed serpent chasing them from behind, the two individuals were truly dumbfounded at this moment, not knowing how to save their lives.